few days later, and I'm going to be disassembling this power valve and prepping the cylinder for some cleanup. So here I'm just going to remove the power valve cover and disassemble the power valve. Alright guys, so we have our power valve all disassembled here. We're going to give this cylinder a soak in the parts washer. And I know some won't be a huge fan of this, but it won't really harm the cylinder at all. Don't have to worry about rust because I will be going through and drying it off, of course. But yeah, we're going to give this a little soak in the parts washer. Alright, and here we have all the little pieces from the power valve assembly, which I will also be cleaning up here in the parts washer. Now that we have the piston off, I'm going to go through and take off the clutch cover here so I can re-shine it back up. Alright guys, now we're going to go through and pull off our case cover here. Alright guys, so while I have this case half off here, it gives me access to a lot of little seals and stuff. So here on this Kickstarter shaft oil seal, I went through, took it off, and just cleaned out the inside of it. Unfortunately, I don't have any new seals for the Kickstarter shaft or the water pump, which I probably should have gotten it. But yeah, I don't have any at the moment. I do have some fresh gaskets though. But yeah, in the meantime, I went through and cleaned up the inside of the seal. Did have a little bit of gunk in it, so it's good that we cleaned that out. Now I'm just gonna go through with a little bit of grease and oil and install the seal back in. Alright, here I'm gonna get a little grease on my fingers and rub it on the outside of the seal. This will basically just help prevent the seal from dry rotting and seizing up in place. And yeah, it'll make it easier to remove when it's time to replace it in the future. Also makes it a little bit easier to seat it into place. And here on the inside of the seal, I'm just gonna put a very, very, very light coat of oil. All right, now let's press that back into place. Alright guys, there we go. Our kickstart shaft seal is all nice and cleaned up. So yeah, hopefully that'll help prevent any leaks. Alright guys, so it's the next day and let's do a little recap at where we're at. So here, starting all the way at the right, we have the clutch cover, which needs to be shined up, so we'll quickly knock that out today. Here we have our water pump all cleaned up, looks good. We have our fresh gasket to go with that, as well as a fresh crush washer on the drain bolt there. And over here we have our cylinder, fresh spark plug, our head, our new gaskets. And over here I have the case half off the clutch side, but on this bike you can only take off the right case half because there is no left case half. You gotta split the engine if you want to look into it any further. But of course we do have a fresh gasket for this, and yeah, I just wanted to take this off, inspect everything inside here, and it's all looking pretty good. Tonight I'm probably gonna go through, take off the clutch, inspect it, and make sure everything's wearing properly. And over here I have the reeds as well as the sprockets. All that stuff's cleaned up. Fresh sprocket because our old one was super worn out. The teeth were starting to actually get a wave pattern. Here's the old one. And you can see maybe some of those teeth actually getting a wave pattern. Kind of subtle, but definitely time to replace that. And over here we have our power valve assembly, all disassembled, cleaned up. And then of course our Kickstarter, which looks super fresh. Got that nice finish on it, as well as greased up the pivot. That is super smooth. So first, let's get to cleaning up this clutch cover. For those who are somewhat new to the channel, here I have a Harbor Freight 8-inch bench grinder, which I use as my buffing setup, as well as an 8-inch Prime MX cleaning pad. These things work super good, fine. And then the coarse one for things like casting line removal and material removal in general. I'll link in the description where you can find these pads. These things have worked great for me and absolutely no complaints. These things are super nice because they are really gentle on the work surface and give a really awesome finish. A buffer with the spread out wheels would probably be better, but this was a little bit cheaper as far as I can remember. So yeah, this is my setup and it has worked great for me. Alright guys, and here's all the safety gear we will be running. Of course, it is common sense to be using all the safety gear when working with a grinder or buffer. So over here I have a respirator, a 3M, just got that off of Amazon, nothing too crazy. Over here I have some eye protection. You of course want to protect your eyes. And then back here I have some gloves. Now it is really controversial when it comes to using a buffing wheel with gloves, but because this is a fairly large part, I'm not too worried about it. When it comes to small parts like our case saver, I definitely didn't wear any gloves, but when it comes to like a big part like this, I really see no reason not to, assuming that you have a little bit of skill when using these and common sense. Alright guys, so we're all done, giving it this awesome finish. Looks super clean and maybe a little bit inconsistent, but I'm not too worried because I'm going for a brushed finish, which I will achieve by using a 6-inch pad, just rubbing it over the surface. Alright guys, there we go, and here's the finish. So this is the final finish. As you guys can see, it has this really nice clean look to it, but it still has that brushed finish, which will be super easy to maintain and keep up on. So yeah, I'm super happy with how this came out. As always, these Prime MX cleaning pads never disappoint. Alright guys, our engine is all torn down and mostly ready for reassembly. So as you guys can see, our clutch cover turned out super sick. I gotta love that awesome brushed finish. Then we have some fresh hardware to complement that. And then we have our head with some fresh acorn nuts, fresh spark plug, cylinder, and gaskets ready to go. Over here we have our ignition cover, the bolts for it, and some gaskets. Here we have our case cover, which I went through and cleaned up the kickstart shaft seal, so that'll be all good to go. Here we have our clutch, which we have to go through and inspect. Probably do that off camera, might do that in the next video, not sure. Our motor here looks pretty good on the inside, and overall going pretty smoothly. Over here we have some more miscellaneous parts like our fresh sprocket, as well as the freshly shined up case saver. Got some fresh hardware with that too. Have our nicely shined up Kickstarter. We have our Boyce and rad valve, and then the rest of the pieces to go along with it. Fresh hardware. And then over here we have our whole power valve assembly all cleaned up in the parts washer and ready to be assembled. Alright guys, this engine is going to be looking super fresh, and it's going to be running even better with the fresh top end. Alright guys, so that's the end of this video. We went through, tore down the motor. I had a ton of fun doing this, just to be able to see all the little parts and pieces that go on inside the motor. And yeah, definitely subscribe so you guys don't miss the reassembly video. I have some big plans for that. And with that, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.